Hi, everybody. This is the September open mic for SmokeLong Fitness. Tonight we have 8 readers, and then we are going to awkwardly mingle in breakout rooms as we always do. Our first group of readers is Beth Sherman, Dawn Tasaka Steffler, and Joel Hans. Beth Sherman has an MFA in creative writing from Queens College, where she teaches in the English department. Her stories have been published in Portland Review, Black Fox Literary Magazine, Blue Lyra Review, Sandy River Review, 100-Word Story, Fictive Dreams, Flash Boulevard, Southwester, and elsewhere. She is also a Pushcart Prize and multiple Best of the Net nominee, including a 2023 Best of the Net nomination for Flash Fiction. Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. It's my first open mic, and hopefully not my last.
And that's why you're going first, I guess. It's
okay.
Fate. It's fate.
All right.
But when you go first, you get to drink.
Oh, that sounds good. I am going to be reading a micro that is forthcoming in the Blue Mountain Review that was developed in fitness. It's called The Fentanyl Kid Tames a Cloud. Maine in winter. Ice-capped mountains, pine trees, more mountains. Snow blankets the potato fields, forming sloppy drifts. My brother and I watch from the top of the hayloft in the barn. They're moving, see? But to me, the snow is rooted in the dark, frozen ground. He's 15, 2 years older. Without him, I will fade and disappear. The pill he offers is light blue, a sweet tart someone scratched a smiley face on. This'll be good. Maybe it will be. I want his euphoria, the sense that anything's possible. His pupils have morphed into pinpricks. His skin the pale blue tint of snow. We've got wings. His laughter spooks the cows below, who bellow, edge closer together. I take the pill, smaller than my pinky fingernail. It's like holding the answer to a question I've never asked. Come on. He says something else I can't understand, and fear washes through me, colder than snow, packed into an unforgiving ball. The wind moans, icicles dangle from the pines. It's been snowing for a week. Drifts lick the side of the barn. I wonder if it will hurt to hit the ground, or if it will be like entering a cloud. I slip the pill onto my tongue, swallow, wait. There's a moment when I could make it stop, go back to the house where our father's passed out and our mother sits for hours staring at her hands. But then I see love in my brother's face. For me, the universe, it doesn't matter. I feel flakes kiss my face, and before I know it, we're falling. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I like that ending. I like that a lot. Thank you so much, Beth. And relevant. So relevant these days, sadly. Okay. Our next reader is Dawn Tasaka Steffler. Dawn Tasaka Steffler is a fiction writer from Hawaii who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. She is a 2023 SmokeLong Quarterly Emerging Writer Fellow and just received her first nomination for Best of the Net. Her work appears in Flash Frog, Microlit Almanac, Pithead Chapel, and other lovely places. Soon in Stanchion and Alt Milk Magazine. Find her on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky at Dawn Steffler with 2 Fs. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
You're in California, though, right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what are you going to read for us today?
I'm going to read a piece that will be in Stanchion the middle of October, and it's called Unmentionables. It's slightly edited because it was a little on the long side. 1. When you're old enough to know that 4 fingers is your age, mom drives for so long you fall asleep in the back seat. You wake because the car isn't moving anymore, and outside your window is a white house you don't recognize. A large woman is peering in at you. This is your grandma. You're going to stay here for a few days. You cry and struggle in her arms when mom's car disappears. When you finally give up and collapse against her shoulder, grandma pulls a golden disc of butterscotch from a pocket and slips it into your unsuspecting mouth. She hangs her laundry on a clothesline, unmentionable, sandwiched between the sheets. dangling sugar cookie colored bras, big billowy panties that you slip over your head and wear like a strange lopsided dress. She serves sweet tea and cold egg salad sandwiches. She plugs in a nightlight because your bedroom is dark and full of insect noises. One day, when the leaves are turning red, orange, and yellow, Mom returns. You whisper in Grandma's ear that you don't want to leave, and she lovingly corrects you. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. 2. On the first day of middle school, the PE teacher warns no one is allowed to change in the bathroom stalls. You side-eye the pretty girls with their flat stomachs and boobs that mound up like a dinner roll. They have the prettiest bras you've ever seen. Lace, satin, push-up, plunge. Your bras are from Walmart and they're dingy. You turn your face into your locker when you change, trying to hide your pale, fleshy belly. The next time you go to Grandma's for monthly Sunday dinner, your stomach gurgles as soon as you smell your favorite pot roast and gravy. Grandma makes a heaping plate for you, but Mom intercepts it, scrapes half of the food into the garbage can. What are you trying to do? Mom says. Make her fat? 3. You're surprised at the amount of people who show up for Grandma's funeral. You hold up the viewing line because once you're in front of her casket, you can't stop the flood of silent apologies, as if you are a busted dam. On the ride home, Mom shoots you nasty looks because earlier, when all the usual poisons were pouring out of her, you had yelled, "Can't you shut your mouth for one friggin' day?" She's not talking to you right now, but you know she'll lay into you soon, double vicious. She can't help it, but you don't care. You graduate soon, and then you'll move out, get a job. You imagine telling her to fuck off. You stare out the window, daring her to push you. 4. You walk back to your car as casually as you can, but your heart is hammering. Once the car doors are locked, you pull up your skirt, and wedged between your thick thighs is the most beautiful lace bra. While you're looking at the price tag and feeling a thrill because this is the most expensive thing you've ever stolen, your phone buzzes. Again. Mom finally gave up and left a text message. "I know you're there. Thought you'd want to know someone finally broke into that window I told you about." You fight the urge to whip up a petty reply. It's what she wants. Suddenly, your stomach growls and you cold turkey any thoughts of Mom, her tossed apartment, her broken window. You decide to celebrate with McDonald's on the way home because you're starving and a criminal and a horrible daughter. Poor Grandma. She's probably rolling over in her grave. So you offer up a quick, "Sorry, Gram." You start up the engine and the stereo comes on at full blast because that's how loud it was when you drove over. When you exit the garage, you notice the sky is the most perfect shade of blue. You put on some cheap sunnies that you stole from Target, roll down the windows, and let the wind blow your hair around like a fucking tornado.
Thank you, Dawn. Love the detail in that. Our next reader is Joel Hans.
Hello.
Hey, Joe. Joel Hans' work appears in Story, West Branch, No Tokens, The Journal, Booth, and others. He earned his MFA from the University of Arizona and now edits Astrolabe, a literary journal in the form of a dynamic universe. Find him in Tucson, Arizona, where he lives with his family, or online at joelhans.com. Hey, Joel, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Awesome.
I have jet lag, like unbelievable jet lag. And so I'm just like a little, mellow. Yeah,
Perfect. Good.
yeah.
Reading is good for a mellow mood.
Yeah. What you gonna
Awesome.
read?
Yeah. I am going to read a micro that I drafted for last week's prompt about the song titles.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that goes.
Excellent.
It is called "How Can I Make It Okay?" So beautiful, the child as polished rock, So terrible to see them cursed still under a spell. So quiet, so cold, so heavy, impermeable and perfect and complete. So uncomplaining even when left outside in the rain. So fixed in joy, their face forever lithified in that joyous and tickled smile that last evening when ants hefted pebbles across their toes. So patient, the child in polished rock. So relieving, yes, that they cannot age, crack or scar or cry. So haunting the day the spell is broken, and the first thing their unrocked legs do is sprint away until they stand on the horizon's edge, small and provisional as a pebble where anything could happen. So dreadful when they fall and bleed at the knees. So cursed still, but in a different way. So beautiful and terrible, they seem unchanged by their days as polished rock, like they could go right back without trouble until the world feels safer. So hopeful when they begin to collect pebbles from the backyard. So beautiful how at night they cradle a clutch of rocks in their arms. So quiet and tender, you slip the most polished one between their lips. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Love the repetition. Okay, very nice. Our next three readers are Suzanne Martinez, Elizabeth Certucci, and Aaron Vachon. Aaron Vachon's work appears in Black Warrior Review, SmokeLong Quarterly 3 times, Diagram, Hayden's Ferry Review, The Pinch, Brevity, and the Wigleaf Top 50, among others. They are a submissions editor at SmokeLong Quarterly, a former SmokeLong Fellow for Emerging Writers, and an alum of Tin House Summer Workshop. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
What you doing today?
I'm doing a weird one. I'm hoping everyone knows who Chris Pratt is. It's just like a Jurassic Park fame.
Okay, so I definitely know who Chris Pratt is.
Good, yeah.
If anyone doesn't know who Chris Pratt is, please, yeah, you have two choices. You have sort of chubby Chris Pratt from
Right.
Recreations, Park and Recreations,
Yep.
adorable, and you have Galaxy,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt, who is fit. Okay,
Fit.
so yeah, you have those two choices. Okay.
Yeah, we're going kind of fit Chris Pratt today, I guess. Okay, yeah. So this is a Flash CNF that I've never read out loud before. So here you go. All right. This is called To Chris Pratt, Dinosaur Tamer, Space Traveler, Colonizer of Hospital Wings. Okay. Chris Pratt tames dinosaurs in a cargo vest with Axe body spray aroma to win the affection of a frigid woman slaying an isosceles auburn bob. Chris Pratt is a muscly Han Solo for Gen Z, cruising with his misfit crew of aliens and his true love, a key lime green assassin. Chris Pratt sweats idealized sex in a cosmic cafeteria with a blonde writer by ensuring they are light years away from everyone when he wakes her from her deep space coma. On my medical wing TV, Chris Pratt's face shifts in tectonic plates for 24 hours, glitching in and out, technical difficulties. My nurse shrugs at the blue sky outside my window, says, "The weather." I figure she means the disgusted gusts of wind on a floor high above the smutty city. But that's not passing clouds, more like permanent altitude. Then again, the Chris Pratts are a permanent fixture too, dominating every film as headliner. Confined to this bed, the twitch of Chris Pratt's cheeks bewitch me, static transforming his regulation face, a comfort. Not even Chris Pratt is fixed, not entirely. All of us are capable of changing shape. To watch Chris Pratt means squinting my eyes, making the whole world as fluid as the pool where Chris Pratt's hot blonde space girlfriend swims. I too could be Chris Pratt kissing a woman and kissing a woman and kissing a woman in outer space and in a theme park and in outer space, even if my lips are as bare of sex as swan wings. But my lips are analog, so they're even better than Chris Pratt's peacocking mouth. I bet I could get out of this bed and pile drive dinosaurs and comets and men. And that's when the doctor reminds me to stay down, rest. Mind the bloom of purple bruises from double heparin shots in my belly, the IVs twisted into my veins, my strangely black shit. But if Chris Pratt can calm velociraptors with the flick of his wrist, why can't I heal at hyperspeed and woo off a closed-off woman, maybe from the downstairs cafeteria? Though I'd need a shower first, maybe a pair of pants. My doctor says, yes, while we're on the subject, let's discuss your heart. Let's treat this whole event like cardiac arrest. You've absorbed a severe blow in your body, not just your mind, but I'm watching Chris Pratt get flung across a field by T-Rex tail, whipped into the cosmos by meteor trail, defending every punch from alien boss battle as if his muscles were tungsten. So I say, I am as strong as a dinosaur hunter, an outer space scavenger, a blockbuster headliner. I don't need help. And my doctor says, stop acting the part of someone who heals like a superhero. You are allowed to recover. And that's when you walk in with your paperback, tired slope to your shoulder. You say, hey, you're looking better. Settle into the plastic lounge chair, moan, oh no, not Chris Pratt. Why is that guy on every channel? I lay back. It's funny. I've never seen it before. You sort of look like the actor. You're cracking your book, and my heart settles into slower rhythm. I hadn't noticed how fast my pulse kicked just to keep on living, like some tiny, beat-up human.
Amazing, Erin. Always. Where are you going to send that?
Yeah, I don't know. Someplace that appreciates.
Okay. Okay. I am going to write a five from the archive about using celebrities in Flash, because a lot of people wonder how and why we do these, we write things like this. And I think it's so important because there's such a good combination between what the story is really about and using a celebrity icon to get that across. It's so effective and legal if anybody's worried about that. It's protected under First Amendment rights, that it's perfectly fine to do that to a point. And I'm going to talk about that at some point when we do an exercise like this. And that's a great example of it, Erin. Thank you. Our next reader is Elizabeth Certucci. Elizabeth Certucci writes Stories and Code. Her writing bridges the liminal space between language and culture as a first-generation Mexican-American. She is a fiction reader for The Rumpus. Read her author and writing community interviews at SmokeLong Quarterly and Room Magazine. Find her at Writer E. Certucci on Twitter and Instagram. Hi, Elizabeth. What are you going to read for us today?
I'm going to read something that came from a recent SmokeLong Fitness workshop.
Mm-hmm.
The one we just had with Farhana Khalik about making your prose pop. And it's called Wholehearted. He sliced the fig, spread it open like a cross-section of his small cell cancer lungs, digging out the pink, velvety flesh with his fingers. He wished his surgeon would do the same. If not for his anti-nausea medication, he knew he would not be sitting at the kitchen table, hunched over, playing with his food. He could not smell the sweetness of the figs any more than he could smell the cake his wife made him for his birthday. He chose not to tell his wife his sense of smell was gone, and how during their late-night frolicking, when they were intimate and jovial beneath the sheets, he attempted to dissociate to a time when he could smell the bouquet of her favorite body lotion and relish the taste of her on his tongue. But the memory of them together lay dormant, deep inside the tangled synapses of his brain. He felt the low rumble of the queasiness in his stomach. He tried a breathing exercise as instructed by his respiratory therapist, but he could not sustain the breath. The stage 3 biopsy of the lump on the side of his chest explained his decreased lung capacity, and the chemotherapy, his loss of smell and taste. He did not understand how the rogue tumor-inducing cells in his lungs went undetected during his heart bypass surgery. He still recalled the gaiety with which his surgeon had told him how lucky he was to have an opportunity for a do-over. He yearned to do it all over again. His relationship with his father, career choices, marriage. He wanted to feel what it would be like to be in control. The bowl of ripe figs fresh from the farmer's market taunted him. His wife intended to make him figs and syrup. His favorite, she said. Her favorite. He rolled a fig off the table onto the floor and smashed it with his foot. The resulting mess looked like the kind of desiccated roadkill vultures eat by the side of the road. He imagined buzzards circling around him as he sat outside on the deck. He butterflied another fig in half, like a chicken breast, leaving the pale green stalk intact. He placed a halved fig on a burner of the gas stove and watched the thin, purple, crepey skin burn. The innards of the fig transformed into a gelatinous consistency beneath the charred concave peel, making the white teardrop seeds appear more pronounced as if they multiplied. A third fig he diced on a charcuterie board with a machete-like santoku knife, shoving the meaty morsels down the sink garbage disposal. He thought of his life, the misdeeds, missed opportunities, how his nature to turn the other cheek and take abuse set the stage for the seeds of trauma to germinate. He looked at his hands, wet and sticky from handling the severed raw figs, recalling something his doctor said about popcorn or popsicles. Pop. The word compressed and expanded between the folds of his brain like a marshmallow. Apoptosis, a process broken in him, the mechanism by which cells die if damaged. Despite the radiation and chemotherapy, the malignant cells in his lungs remained and thrived as if intent on not dying. He felt the chilling onset of goosebumps dotting his skin like a strawberry as he vocalized, "No more cancer treatments." He sat down, took a bite of a fig, then bit another, and another, and another with a ravenous hunger for every cell in his body.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Great use of that object. And it's that was from task one of using the metaphors.
Yeah, we were talking about, yes, the metaphors.
Okay. Yeah, food does provide that easily for because we all eat and we all know. Yeah, great use. Our next reader is Suzanne Martinez. Suzanne C. Martinez's fiction has appeared in Vestal Review, the Citron Review, Gone Lawn, and the Broadkill Review, among others, and was nominated for Pushcart Prizes 2019 and 2020, the Best of the Net 2020, and Best Short Fictions in 2022. She is a finalist in the 2023 Tarts Fiction Award, First Fiction Award, for her linked short story collection. She lives in Brooklyn. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
What are you going to read for us today?
Well, I keep changing as different stories are read. I keep popping another one up. So now I'm going to have a complete change of pace. These are from the postcard prompt from a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Postcard number 1. Dear Mary Lynn, saw this and thought of you. Could be us at 18, right? My mouth watered for a hot fudge sundae, seeing you at the Dairy Queen every day. I still have that leather jacket you love to borrow. Breaks my heart it hasn't fit for years. I moped for weeks after my parents sent me to college back east. I wonder what kind of life we'd have had if I stayed. I'll be in town for the 25th reunion. Want to hook up behind the gym for old time's sake? Love, Hank. Postcard 2. Dear Hank, are you the Hank Miller with the jelly roll or Hank Jensen in Henderson's English class? Frankly, I'm not much of a crier. I try to see the sunny side of life. I walked out of graduation like my shoes were on fire. I buckled down like my mama said, eyes on the prize. Got myself an associate's in 1 year and married Henry when he finished med school. I own 3 Dairy Queens now. Love, ML. Postcard 3. Dear Mary Lynn, I am so happy for you. Got kids? We just had the one before Donna left me for her boss. My boy has a job at the power plant in Corpus after a few scrapes. Lucky they sealed his juvie record. I see him every Christmas. He's a good boy, loves his dad. You changed much? My hair is mostly spray and my chest moves south. Gravity's a killer. I'd love to see you if you can make it. Hopefully, Hank. Postcard 4. Hi. Sure, I'll be there. Keep your eyes peeled for a blonde driving a red Camaro. When I walk in, all those self-satisfied losers will shrink to nothing like salted slugs. Henry's out of town, touring colleges with our oldest. Perfect SATs, class president, top ranked in squash and plays the oboe. Harvard's interested. ML. Postcard number 5. Hi, Mary Lynn. Sorry I missed you. I flew in, rented a Crown Victoria, and drove to the hall. I saw you walk in looking like $1 million. I couldn't get out of the car, so I drove over to DQ in tears. I've been such a fool, right? My hot fudge sundae dripped all over my hired tux. I should have stayed or come back after I graduated. Stupidest thing I ever did. And I've done plenty. I want a do-over. Hank.
Yeah, I have read this before, right? In parts. Did you submit it?
Parts, yes.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Yeah, I love the back and forth, and we all have that feeling of what could we have done differently. Yeah, I'm actually one of those people who would never in a million years go to my high school reunion. You couldn't pay me. Yeah, I don't know how much money you would have to pay me to get me to go, but nope, have no desire. Yeah. So, but poor Hank. I love the details, the Dairy Queens and the oboe. Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you, Suzanne. Michelle Brosius is a writer, reader, and cat person, a hiker of the hills, a fellow hiker of the hills, and occasionally, like right now, speaks French. Michelle, what would you like to read for us today?
Thank you. This is my second time doing an open mic, and I'm glad I have a voice for it. So I just got over being sick. But I'm going to do a draft. This is still very much a working draft, but this came up, I think, from the summer workshop where the task was, kind of talk around a subject, but never name what it actually is and see if you can get the essence across. So some of this might be familiar to somebody here. It's called What We Didn't Know. We didn't know why we were there in those days. Us kids, ages ranging from 7 to 12, all from various families and backgrounds, dropped off every Wednesday night in the basement of a Catholic church, monitored by actual nuns. The adults, our parents, knew why, but they didn't tell us. They stayed upstairs for 1 hour, quietly collecting us at the end with puffy, shining faces. While the adults did whatever they did, we played battered board games, attempted Scrabble, though none of us could really spell, jumped on the squeaky couch. We told each other nothing about ourselves, not even our real names. Anonymous seemed to be a sixth sense, a habit we learned indirectly from our parents. Anything that happened at home, good or bad, stayed a mystery in the basement. We saw what we saw at home, but we never connected it to the upstairs. We didn't know what happened upstairs, but we wanted to, and it became our mission to find out. Each week, we'd recruit some kid to slink down the dingy hallway in various shades of puce, up the metal stairs, and follow the scent of burnt coffee. Sometimes they came down with stir sticks and sugar packets, which we confiscated, but no answers. One time, a kid came down holding a styrofoam cup with lipstick on the rim that he'd pulled from the trash. He saw an adult sobbing, he said. About what? We shrieked, alerting a nun. His eyes blew up like a doll's. He didn't know, but reported that there were crumbs on a platter next to the coffee urn. So there were cookies, too, cookies not shared with us, and tears. We didn't know why kids stopped coming. We didn't know why we stopped going. We will never understand why the smell of brewing coffee could turn our stomachs from sorrow. We'll never know why we mistrust group settings, how church basements or badly lit meeting rooms and community centers cause twinges of unease in the base of our spines. Downstairs, the kids had fun, but upstairs there was anguish tempered with stale chocolate chip cookies, store-bought, no less. Our childhoods forever tainted by what we could only sense and never name.
Oh, wow. That is sinister. Yeah. Okay. I could feel a whole novel coming on from that situation. Do you know who Colin Winnett is?
No. Colin Winnett?
Colin Winnett. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like very Colin Winnett kind of story of
Okay.
very sinister and very disturbing on lots of levels. And in general, Colin Winnett, all of his writing is great. And that sounds like a Colin Winnett. That's like a compliment. That's meant as a compliment, because I'm a big fan of Colin Winnett.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'll
Thank you,
definitely
Michelle.
check it out.
Thank you for jumping in and reading.
Yeah.
Chris. And our last reader is Jenny Stalter. Jenny Stalter is a writer and former private chef. Her writing appears or is forthcoming in Longleaf Review, Moon City Review, Type House Literary Magazine, Sea Cows, X-Ray Lit, and other great places. She is a SmokeLong Quarterly 2023 Emerging Writer Fellow. Her work has been nominated for the Pushcart Prize, Best of the Net, Best Microfiction, and Best American Short Stories. Hi, Jenny. It's very nice to have you here. What are you going to read for us today?
I am going to read my story that is forthcoming in Moon City Review. I wrote it in the 2022 April intensive, and it'll be forthcoming in spring of 2024. It's called Beginnings. I still have my key, the one you gave me when you asked me to be your hunk of burning love because I was singing top volume with Elvis. You shut it off and told me to keep going. I want to hear only your voice, Janie. I don't miss you. I'm totally over you. I'm just here to get my Jenny Seville print, the one that you said I should buy because the woman looks like me with my thick thighs and heavy breasts and pink skin. I just lied. Now I wonder if you suggested the Seville for its grotesquerie, like you were beginning to see the fractures inside me. Your apartment smells the way I remember, but with something else, something woody, spicy, sort of masculine almost. I grabbed the Seville, and then I think to look for the flamingo flower I gave you for our anniversary, because you never watered it, but I don't see it. I look in the bathroom. You're still leaving your wadded scrubs on the floor by the shower, even though the hamper is right outside the door. I remember the first time I saw you wearing those scrubs, nursing at the clinic. I told the doctor I didn't want the pain meds, that I just wanted it done. So you took my hand and held it like a child's. Your voice was reassuring and soft, like sliding on something warm. To distract me, you asked what kind of music I liked, and I said Frog Eyes, and the sound went and I said Silver Jews, and you smiled down at me, and you said you liked Frog Eyes too, and the doctor told you she was going around my uterus one more time to make sure she got it all out. You already felt like home. The softness of woman after a man. I gave you my number that day. Later, you would tell me I didn't deserve the pain, that I should have taken the meds, that I didn't have to punish myself for getting rid of it. But I wasn't punishing myself, and it didn't hurt. I got some cramps, and then it was finally over with Miguel. A beginning. Now, seeing her monogrammed towel next to yours, on the rack next to yours, that's what hurts. I find a collage frame loaded with pictures of you and Sonia, a ridiculous inspirational quote in the center, the kind of hacky saccharine shit we used to make fun of. I get queasy. Something precarious folds, then breaks inside me. I'm surrounded by new, different plants, ones I can't identify. Huge, looming, confrontational ones, squat, adorable blossoms on the windowsill. Some extra long crawling thing hooked to the entire living room ceiling, green and waxy and winking, a watch me thrive kind of wink, a fuck you kind of wink. The bitch is terraforming. I don't like calling women bitches, so I take it back. Sonia is terraforming. She is a snake. Her name even sounds like snakes. Sonia. I know because I go through the pictures on your laptop and find the ones of you both cooking in your underwear, flamingo flower photobombing the background, when we were still together, when the color for me was bleeding away from your eyes, when you told me to stop singing with Carrie Mercer because it was nice to just hear the fucking song. I head to the bedroom. Maybe I'm punishing myself for losing you. There's a multifauna duvet cover I've never seen crumpled at the foot of the bed. The harness is black on the exposed white sheet, like a beetle belly up on a buttercream cake. We never used a strap-on, so I know it's hers. I get on my knees in the bed where you loved me, and I pretend I'm you, mimicking how you sound, how you move your hips when you're close. I say, I love you, Janie, out loud, the way you did the first time and for 5 years after that. The way you did after we harvested purple hyssop to infused with honey. We barely made it to the bed, your fingers and tongue tracing the honey across my lips. We stickied the sheets and our hair, warming the air with the scent of ourselves and the hyssop smell of fresh licorice. I wipe my tears and snot on your pillow when I'm done. I breathe deep in search of myself, but it just smells like a detergent I don't know. I slip into the harness and strap it on. I walk to the kitchen to make a sandwich. I pretend I'm Sonia, dick swinging around, confident you're mine, my love. I open the window to the alley, tonguing gluten-free bread off the roof of my mouth. When did you start eating this shit? Where some kids are painting bubble throw-ups on the brick building next door. I stand here more grotesque than any painting, with the alien weight of your new life bobbing between my thighs. I'm me again, and I know I need to let you go. I unstrap and throw first the dildo and then the key out the window. Another beginning. It's as painful as a birth. You'll be home from work soon. Before I go, I press my hand to the glass, leaving a print.
Amazing. Thank you, Jenny. And it's such a perfect use of the second person. Really hard for me to like a second person narrative sometimes. Sometimes I'm not sure how useful it is, but that really works. And it's, yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for reading. Okay, everyone. On that note, beginnings, endings. Thank you everyone for reading. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for a webinar, okay, because the webinars of Afterglow, attendance only, are included in SmokeLong Fitness. So, I mean, you can do the full events if you want at the discounted rate. But if you're doing the discounted events, you can also attend the other webinars because you always get at least one webinar each month included in SmokeLong Fitness just to attend the webinar. So if you haven't told us which webinars you want to attend in October and November, just send us an email. It's the Afterglow webinars. And if you're confused, you don't know what I'm talking about, send me an email and say, hey, Chris, I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about. Just send me an email and ask. Just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to attend at least one webinar each month. We are growing and growing. And don't forget, also, if you want to invite someone to the workshop, and you can send them a personal invitation, you get a discount, and just let me know. Okay, all right. Then it was so good to see all of you, and some of you for the first time, and other familiar faces. I'll see you in the workshop. Bye-bye, everybody.